Hello again, welcome to another upload. Today is hopefully going to be a really short and sweet video because I just want to do a bit of an update on what is on my current Kindle Unlimited list. Now, if you don't already know, Kindle Unlimited is a subscription service for books run through Amazon, and basically you pay £7.99 a month and you can read as many books as you want that are on the Kindle Unlimited platform, and there are a lot of them. They tend to be more indie authors or possibly more sort of like online published authors, as opposed to your more mainstream, you'll find them all in the bookshops sort of authors. But there are exceptions to that. There are some authors who do both, and honestly, some of my favourite authors I found through Kindle Unlimited. I absolutely love it. I think it is a phenomenally good value for a package. If I paid for each book I read on Kindle Unlimited individually, I would spend an absolute fortune on books. So thanks, Spider. So for me, it's a lifesaver and it allows me to read as many books as I like to. But I recently realised that my list had got a little bit dry. I hadn't updated it for a while. I hadn't gone and picked any new books, and I've been watching a lot of BookTube, a lot of BookTok, a lot of Bookstagram, all the book online content areas, and have seen the same books popping up time and time and time again, and I thought, you know what, maybe this is the time to go and download a few of them and see what all the fuss is about. So without further ado, I've gone old school and actually written them down on my notepad. As I said, this is going to be super quick. We're just going to whip through them. Some of these I know next to nothing about, so let's go. So first up we have Four Boys by Penelope Douglas. This apparently is a spin-off series to another series that you don't need to have read prior to reading this one, but you can do. It's a good job because I haven't read it. It sounds like it's a story about a good boy and a naughty girl, so it sounds like it could be quite intriguing. Penelope Douglas is an author that I'm sort of hit or miss with. I don't hate her books, but I don't always love them either. Birthday Girl, for example, was one that everybody else raved about and I was just like, it was fine. So I'm interested to see what I think about this one. Next up we have Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. This one I know almost nothing about except for what's written on the back on the blurb. It sounds particularly tragic. I think her boyfriend has died in tragic circumstances, and now she's going to get with his brother. Like, it sounds angsty, so yeah. We then have Ruining Dahlia, which is by C.R. Jane, and this is a reverse hero. And we all know I am a fan of those, so I'm looking forward to this. It looks like a dark mafia romance where she is sold to a series of gentlemen who may not necessarily be the nicest people to be with. It is number 3 in the series, and I haven't read any of the series. I don't think that's going to be an issue when I get into it. I'm not going to go and read the rest of the series first. I'm just going to get straight in there, and we'll see. Yeah. Going in a bit blind on this one, but I'm looking forward to it. Next up, a book that I first heard about from Virgo Reader, I think her name is. I will link anybody I mentioned specifically in the description box below, but she mentioned this book, which is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, and I think I've read something by Lucy Score before, but I could not tell you what it was. I seem to think I enjoyed it, but I've just seen someone else on TikTok say this is the spiciest thing they've read like in a long time, which I read some pretty spicy things, so I struggle to accept that this would be it. Like, this doesn't look like it's going to be a particularly spicy book, so I'm looking forward to seeing what it's all about. And yeah, I know nothing about it except for that, so I'll keep you posted. Then we have Choosing Theo by Victoria Aveline. Why do I know the author's name? What has the author done? Leave me a comment. What has she written? Like, I recognise the name. This is an alien romance with a scarred hero and a human female who is, like, ends up under the protection of an alien race. In exchange, she has to pick one to be her husband. This sounds 100% up my alley. I am really looking forward to this one. This is probably the one on the list I am the most looking forward to. I can't wait for this. And it's a series, so if I like it, I've got more to read. Then we have The Protector by, is that Elin Pier? This is the Men in the North series. It sounds a bit dystopian universe, like almost a bit reverse Handmaid's Tale. She goes and finds this settlement of men who don't want to be ruled over by women. I have heard about this before, but I know almost nothing about it. Like, I've heard people say that the series is quite good. I really don't know where the plots are going to go, and I don't know any of the storylines, so I'm fascinated to find out what this is all about. Then next we have 2 books by Scarlett Scott, who is one of my current author obsessions. She's a historical romance writer, and I am literally devouring her entire backlist at the moment. First up we have Sutton's Seduction, which is, I can't remember what the series is called, but it's like The Suttons or something. And I've read the first 3 so far, and this is book 4, and I'm going to continue the series and just see what is going on. I really enjoyed the rest of this series, so I'm looking forward to picking up the next one. And then we have Sweet Scandal, which is the next book in a series I cannot remember, but I'm going to put it just here for you. Again, Scarlett Scott, and I am currently reading this series. This is book 4. So far I think this is probably my least favourite of all of her series that I've read. Like, I'm not hating it, but I'm not loving it. So we'll see how we get on with book 4 in this series. Some of the series are really good and really enjoyable, but this one's just not quite hitting the spot. But I'm going to plod on anyway because I want to see how everything finishes up. There are a number of books in this list that are pushing me out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I've deliberately chosen books that I know are not what I would normally go for, and this is one of them. This is There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. I have heard so much about these books from people who I usually very much respect their opinions and usually have very similar tastes. But Sophie Lark is one of those authors that everyone seems to love, and I just don't get the same vibe from. Like, I don't not like the books, but I don't rave about them. The Bully and stuff like that, I haven't really got into them as much as some people have. This one sounds incredibly dark. It involves serial killers, I believe, and I think, if I remember rightly from hearing someone's review, there is it like revenge by cheating, or she like proves a point by cheating on someone in front of him? I don't know. That turns me off immediately. I'm not really here for that. But I really want to try and read stuff because I might be surprised. I might be surprised and I might enjoy it. It's happened before. I've read things before and gone, oh, actually, I didn't mind that. We'll see if that's the case with this one. The next one that is pushing me out of my comfort zone a bit is Unhinged by Onni James. I don't traditionally read same-sex romances. Nothing against them, no particular reasons. I have read a few and quite enjoyed them. I tend to read romance to live vicariously through them. I like to slot myself into the story, and obviously that is far easier when I read a heterosexual male-female romance. However, I've heard so much about this series and Unhinged and the whole setup of it. It sounds absolutely the kind of thing I would like to read. It sounds like the sort of plot where if this was a male-female couple, I would have absolutely snapped this book up and read it in minutes. So I thought, you know what? Just go for it and give it a go. And you might be really, really surprised. You may love it. So yeah, I'm intrigued and I'm going to give it a shot. And the next one, which is kind of a bit out there for me, is Burn For Me by Sarah Kate. Sarah Kate is currently one of my favourite authors in the entire world ever for writing Give Me More, which may be my favourite book of all time ever in a million years. It's a married couple and his best friend. It is the hottest, most amazing, emotionally beautiful, just lovely exploration of relationships and how they work and how they function and how they can evolve. And I absolutely devoured it. It was immense. It was hands down my favourite book I've read this year, possibly ever. So I really want to read some more stuff by Sarah Kate, and Burn For Me is another book that I have heard a lot about. However, having said all of that, this is an age gap romance with an older woman and a younger male, which I don't normally like. It is a taboo teacher-student romance, which I don't normally like. So why am I reading it? I don't know. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to go in there open-minded and we're going to see what happens, because certain things, depending on how they're handled, can work for me. So we'll see. This could make me feel really icky and uncomfortable. It could be the best thing I've ever read. We will find out. So then we have To Dare the Devil by Emma V. Leach. Emma V. Leach is one of my favourite comfort historical romance authors. She writes long series, a bit like Christy Caldwell, all interconnecting books with couples who have siblings, and then their siblings get married, blah, 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 blah. And this is the Daring Daughters series, which I think is there's 12 books, I think, and that itself was a spin-off from another series as well that had umpteen books as well. So this is quite a long extended book series, and you don't need to read them in order, and you don't really need to read them all, but if you do, there's a nice satisfaction when it all rolls into the end. I've read the whole series so far, and this is the next one in the series. The only thing that's bugging me about this series at the moment is they keep dropping hints about one particular couple, Louis and Evie, and we keep getting these hints of them all the way through these books, and we keep seeing them together, and we know they're going to end up together, but their book has not yet arrived, and this is not their book, this is somebody else's book, and I am now desperate to get to Louis's book. So I sort of feel like I'm always reading these at the moment, just sort of wanting to rush through them because I want the next book to come out, because I want to be able to find out what happens with this couple that's been hinted at loads. But they're really sort of easy reads. They're really just enjoyable and light and easy, and I really have enjoyed the whole series so far, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. Then next up we have a book that I know absolutely nothing about apart from the title, because Kindle Unlimited itself recommended it to me. When you go on your library, it recommends books based on your prior reading, and one of those books was Risky Business by Lauren Landish. I think I've read stuff by Lauren Landish before. I think I've enjoyed it. Like, I really can't remember anything specific. This one I know nothing about at all. I'm assuming it's a workplace romance based on the Risky Business title. It gives me sort of like maybe enemies to lovers vibes. Just for some reason, looking at the cover, it sort of smacks me of like the hating game sort of vibe. So apart from that, I know nothing, but I'm going to give it a go. So next up, we have 2 books that were recommended on a recent vlog on In Love and Words channel. This was Mr. Librarian and Mercy. Mr. Librarian is a book which apparently is not going to be what you think it's going to be based on the title. Like, it is about a librarian, but maybe not exactly what you're expecting. And Mercy is a dark romance which she was absolutely raving about on this vlog, saying about how amazing it was and just, you know, how it's one of her favourite books ever, and that is enough for me to at least give a go and see what all the fuss is about. So again, going in pretty blind, don't really know anything about it. I'm gonna just find out and see where we go. Whew, nearly there. So then next up we have Girls Weekend by C.M. Nascosta. Nascosta? How the heck do you pronounce the name? I'm so sorry for butchering a name. I apologise in advance. This is a monster romance, and I really do not know what to expect with this one because it sounds wild. It's a group of supernatural beings go on a girls' weekend and basically have a lot of sex by the sounds of it. I have no idea where this is going to go. It sounds balmy. I can't wait. I can't wait. It just sounds crazy. I'm really looking forward to this one. And I have heard a lot of people talk about it and say how great it is, so ooh, exciting. Then we have Taming of the Rogue by Alyssa Clark. This is a bit of a wild card because, again, it was just off of my Kindle Unlimited recommendations because I like historical romance. It popped up on there. It's been actually on my Kindle for ages and I just haven't got a chance to read it and haven't sat down and read it. It is about a man who needs an etiquette tutor and they obviously like start to develop feelings with each other. So it sounds like a very standard historical romance. I have no expectations. I don't know if I've read anything by Alyssa Clark before. I'm just gonna go and roll with it and see where it takes me. And then finally is a book which is actually technically a reread, but I cannot remember it at all. That's Ruthless Creatures by J.T. Gessinger. I really want to read the rest of this series, and to do that I want to go back and start it again so I can remember where, like, what sort of is going to happen. Like I said, I cannot remember anything about this book at all. I read the blurb but I was like, nope, that triggers nothing in terms of memories. It is a mafia romance, so I'm imagining it's going to be a little bit dark, a little bit violent. I do love a good mafia romance if it's done well. If it's not done well, I find it incredibly boring. So I'm interested to see which side this falls on. But yeah, that is the final book on my Kindle Unlimited list. I've got so many books there that I am really, really excited about reading. I'd be really interested to know if you have read any of them or if you would like to read any of them. Always up for a good buddy read. And also, if you can think of any other Kindle Unlimited books that I really do need to get on, leave me a comment down below and let me know what they are. And I'll hopefully be back soon with an update on how I got on with some of these books. So I will see you around. Bye!